Hello dear student, welcome in our ninth lecture. In the previous lecture we have started our fourth chapter, that is chromatographic techniques. In that we have started the point basic principles of chromatography, introduction to chromatography, then the first chromatographic technique, that is thin layer chromatography, that was discussed in the previous lecture. Now in this lecture we are going to discuss the two techniques, that is paper chromatography and ion exchange chromatography. So this is the learning objectives of this today's topic. So after completion of this lecture, student must know what is paper chromatography, how it is developed, and ion exchange chromatography. So these two chromatographic technique we must know after completion of this lecture. Okay student, let us start with the first, that is paper chromatography. So the name itself indicate paper chromatography. So here we use a paper as a chromatogram. Okay. So this technique was invented by Archer Johann Porter Martin and Richard Lawrence Millington Singh. These two scientists was developed this paper chromatographic technique. Its development successfully solved the problem of separating the amino acids which are very similar to each other. Means this paper chromatographic technique, it is most commonly used to separate the amino acids which are very similar to each other. So they are separated by using this paper chromatography. So in this technique, the figure is given. So this is a special paper are usually used for this technique. In some time, Whatman filter paper or Whatman chromatographic papers are used for this technique. This paper should be highly purified. So it is highly purified paper, and the paper used contains sufficient adsorbed water. Then other liquids such as silicone, paraffin, oil are also adsorbed on that paper. Okay. The choice of the paper is depend on the type of analysis under the investigation. Means if the amino acids are very much similar to each other, at that time we use a different paper, and if they are distinctly separated, at that time we use the another uh, paper. So the choice of that paper, it is totally depend upon the type of analysis under the investigation. Okay. Whatman's chromatographic papers of different types are also used for this paper chromatographic technique. Here the figure is given. In the previous lecture we discussed that there are two phases, stationary phase and the mobile phase. Stationary phase, it is a stagnant phase, while the mobile phase, it is a movable phase. So in this case, this paper, it is acts as a stationary phase. This paper, it is acts as a stationary phase, while this solvent, it acts as a mobile phase. Okay. So this is the start line. On that we place the sample, and we place this paper on the mobile phase. Okay. So what happens, student? This is the direction of the motion of the solvent. So solvent, it is moved in this way. Due to the capillary action, the solvent, it is moves in upward direction, and we are getting a separate component present in the mixture. Okay, this is the paper chromatographic technique. So here the principle of separation is mainly partition rather than the adsorption. Okay, the substance are distributed between a stationary phase and the mobile phase. So cellulose layer in filter paper contain moisture which acts as a stationary phase, or simply we say that the paper which is acts as a stationary phase, and the organic solvent buffer are used as a mobile phase. Okay, the developing solution travels up the stationary phase carrying the sample with it. Okay, so in the previous figure we see that the solvent, it is moved in upward direction by the capillary action. Okay, components of the sample will separate readily according to how strongly they adsorb onto the stationary phase, versus how readily they dissolve in the mobile phase. So in the previous lecture we discussed this point. If the components which are strongly adsorbed on the stationary phase, they are less eluted first, means separation it is a very less. But if the components are easily dissolved in the mobile phase, then the separation it is a very fast or it is very long. Okay, so in this way the point is explained here. Then we see the steps in the paper chromatography. So how the paper chromatograms are developed, that is given here. The first, it is selection of a solid support. That means selection of a paper, whether it is Whatman paper having a different size of that Whatman paper. So which sizes we are going to select, that is nothing but the selection of a solid support. Okay. Then the second step is the selection of a mobile phase. So it is also very important. It is also very important step, selection of a mobile phase. Then third, saturation of a tank. Fourth step, sample preparation and loading. Means we are going to dissolve our component which we have to separate in a proper solvent. Okay, and we introduce that sample on a paper. Okay, development of the chromatogram. Then after development, drying the chromatogram, and last is the detection. So last point is also very important. By RF value we are find out the RF factor of this compound. Okay, so here the calculating the retention factor. So here suppose this is a paper chromatogram. So on that paper, this is the starting line. On that here we place our sample for analyte. Place this paper in the mobile phase, so it is move in upward direction due to the capillary action, and the component gets separated here. So the RF value, it is nothing but the distance traveled by the component. So this is the distance of this component up to this. So distance traveled by the component, it is denoted by A, and the distance traveled by the solvent. So this mobile phase we have to move up to this point, that is called solvent front. Okay, so A upon B, we are getting the retention factor. Okay, so this retention factor, it is always less than 1. It is not more than 1. So you have to remember this point. So by this formula we have to find out the RF value of that particular compound. Then the next and the last part of this paper chromatographic technique, that is the application of this paper chromatography. So to check the control of the purity of pharmaceuticals, we use this paper chromatographic technique. For the detection of the adulterants, detection of the contaminants in the foods and drinks. In the study of ripening and fermentation, we use this paper chromatographic technique. Also, for the detection of drugs and dopes in animals and humans, that where in that we also use the paper chromatographic technique. In analysis of the cosmetics and analysis of the reaction mixture in biochemical labs, we use this paper chromatographic technique. Okay student, with that we finish the paper chromatography. Now we start with the next, that is ion exchange chromatography. So again here the name itself indicates its meaning. Ion exchange chromatography. Student, ion means what? Suppose for example we take NaCl. In that Na plus and Cl minus, these are the ions. So positive and negative ions are separated. So exchange of ion exchange takes place in this chromatography, that is the ion exchange chromatography. Originally it is introduced by Sir Thomson and J.T. Webb. This method was used to treat a clay with a salt, resulting in the extraction of ammonia in addition to release of the calcium. Compounds known as zeolites were introduced to separate the individual ion or electrically charged particles. Means zeolites or electrically charged particles are separated by using this ion exchange chromatography. Synthetic resins were developed from complex ion exchange process. Here the figure is given. This is the ion exchange chromatography. So here the negatively charged ions are look like this. Okay, so solution contain positive and negative charged ion. So this is a column. In that, this is stationary phase. We pour our mixture and we separate in this way. So exchange of ion takes place on this resin and we are getting the separate components. So the next and the last point of this slide, that is the application of ion exchange chromatography. So application part, it is also very important. This ion exchange, it is the most widely used chromatographic method for the separation and purification of charged biomolecules such as polypeptides, proteins, polynucleotides and the nucleic acid. So polypeptides, proteins, polynucleic acid and polynucleotides are separated by using this ion exchange chromatography. Okay, so its widespread applicability, high capacity and simplicity, and its high resolution are the key reasons for its success as the separation method. So it is one of the important method, ion exchange chromatography. Okay student, is it clear? You have to study these two technique, paper chromatography and ion exchange chromatography. So remaining chromatographic techniques we will discuss in the next lecture. Okay student, thank you.